there, wig lover. This is Heather from CysterWigs.com, and today I'm bringing you a review of a very popular, relatively new-ish Raquel Welch wig called Crowd Pleaser. And the color on Crowd Pleaser is one of my favorite sort of chocolatey brown colors. This is RL9/30. Now I do want to make a little note about the true-to-life colors because this wig has true-to-life fiber. How can you tell? Well, aside from the overall feel of the hair, which to me, right out of the box, the true-to-life fiber feels very natural, but it's a little bit stiffer than the regular synthetic and a little less shiny. I think that the biggest tip-off is when you look at the color options. You see here that it says RL in front of the color code. Well, that indicates to you, whenever you see that little RL in front of the Raquel Welch color code, that this is a heat-friendly synthetic wig that can be heat-styled up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is awesome. I think this one is a beautiful chocolatey brown. The hallmark of a chocolatey brown is that it's got some red undertones to it, but not super dramatic. And when I show you this color in sunlight, you'll see what I mean. It's got that sort of Kate Middleton effect where it looks brunette in the soft light like here, and then when you get it in the sunshine, it's kind of like an auburn, but it's not like a ooh intense orange auburn. It's just a very pretty kind of subtle auburn. So this wig is part of their collection of wigs that have the memory caps. The memory caps from the Raquel Welch line are really nice because if you wear them for about a day, they loosen up and then they sort of remember, though I mean obviously they're not really remembering, but you know, they stretch out to accommodate your actual head size due to the way that the wefting is sewn together. And I'll show you that when I invert the cap. Now Crowd Pleaser does have a monofilament left side part, which when I comb through the wig, I will show you a little bit more in detail. This wig has not been styled. It has not been fussed with. In fact, I haven't even fluffed it up or played with it. I literally took it out of the box, removed the tag and hairnet, and plopped it on my head because I wanted to show you what some of these curlier styles look like out of the box and that there's no real cause for alarm. Once you actually sort of soften the curls either by using your fingers or using a wide tooth comb, they look a lot more natural. So I wanted to sort of demonstrate that for you. So before I go much further, I want to go ahead and show you what this beautiful color, which is also called Copper Mahogany, looks like in sunshine. See what I mean? It takes on this sort of beautiful kind of natural auburn, but it's got that brown in it that keeps it from going over the top. It's just a very beautiful color. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my handy dandy wide tooth comb that I always keep on me, and I'm gonna go ahead and run that gently through the bottom of the hair and then towards the top to sort of loosen it up. So that for the rest of this review, you can see what this wig is actually supposed to look like. Now you can heat style Crowd Pleaser, and when you do that, she will need to be styled again to resume this curly texture. It's not like a wig with a perm where the curl will return after you wash it. This, once you straighten it, will remain straight until you curl set it again. Now it may look like this wig is super shiny, but that's because I live in Georgia. The sunlight is just a completely different animal. It's just a lot of sun. So this is super intense lighting. Pretend there's like a spotlight shining on me. And then you'll see that it's really not that shiny. If you're worried about how this is going to look in most lighting scenarios, like an office setting, pay attention to the shine when I was in the more diffuse lighting, which I'll go back to in just a moment. This one also has a hand-tied lace front, which I will now zoom in on. That's a pretty nice lace front there. Goes temple to temple. And then there's that mono part. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to the diffuse lighting, but only after I show you what Crowd Pleaser looks like from all sides. So this wig's relatively lightweight. It's only 3.25 ounces, which is awesome. The front is 6.5 inches, so it's quite long and it's made to be swept off to the side. And when you first put it on, it's got a very dramatic side part most of the time, so you'll have to kind of futz with it a little bit to see where you actually want the part to go. The crown down is 10 inches, so it's a little bit longer, heavily layered cut. The sides on Crowd Pleaser are heavily layered, so the bottommost layer ends at 7 inches, but as you can see, it's definitely a little longer than 7 inches on the sides. And the back is 6.5 inches, and the nape is 4.25 inches. So when it's curled, it looks a little bit shorter, but it does hit approximately shoulder length when straightened. And so I think this wig is very comfortable on. I think that has to do a lot with the way that the cap is constructed. That memory cap construction is quite stretchy, quite comfortable. It just takes a little bit of wear for the cap to accommodate your head properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Crowd Pleaser off so I can show you what the cap construction looks like. So here is the inside of Crowd Pleaser. As you can see, she's got a really nice felt nape with these adjustable Velcro tabs in the back. Pretty awesome. You can let her in or out about 1/2 inch all the way around, though she is quite stretchy. She's got these elastic panels in the back on both sides that stretch quite a bit. And speaking of stretch, as I mentioned before, this is their proprietary memory cap. So as you can see, if I hold this up really close, instead of single bands of elastic that hold the wefts together like on a traditional open capped wig, these are multiple strands, very small strands of elastic that are actually sewn together, and those hold the cap in place. And so what the little waffle pattern with this elastic threading allows is so that when it stretches out, it stays stretched out, but it doesn't stretch out too much. It stretches out just enough to accommodate most heads. Though if you've got a large head, I would not recommend any Raquel Welch wigs unless it's specifically for a large head. That lace front there for you. As we said, monofilament side part. It's very well done, and I'll show you what that looks like up close and personal. Very nice. And then the rest of the top of the cap has a little bit of permatease. You'll see where it's at on the inside of the cap. Right here where this rose lace is, that's all got a little bit of permatease, but it's very manageable. It's a small amount of permatease. And then here, we've got very nice felt ear tabs as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and put Crowd Pleaser back on. This one sort of reminds me of Dolce by Noriko. Dolce looks a lot like this when you first get her out of the box. The only real difference being, of course, that this has the monofilament side part, also has a lace front, and doesn't have nearly as much permatease. Oh, and it's heat stylable. So if you don't like this curl pattern, you can always add your own. So this has been the CysterWigs review of Crowd Pleaser by Raquel Welch, which is a heat-friendly synthetic style. And we are adding and improving to our Raquel Welch, Gabor, and hairdo listings. So stay tuned to my channel. You'll see the new additions as we add them, and I'll be reviewing a ton of them throughout this upcoming season of reviews. You guys kept requesting them, and so we're gonna oblige. Similarly, we're gonna be running sales specifically for our newsletter subscribers this entire time. So if you want to get the heads up on some of these really great Raquel Welch sales, you're gonna have to subscribe to our newsletter, and you can do that by visiting my website, which is www.cysterwigs.com, otherwise known as CysterWigs. And you can find me on YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, all over the place. I have to update my Pinterest, but I'm working on it, so that way you can pin your favorite styles. So until next time, I hope you have a great afternoon, and my name's Heather. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.